There's some. Hi, water. Hi, Marge. Please. That was nice. It's overcast and rainy and drizzly, and it's supposed to snow because they've been spraying for days, and that's their pattern. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name is Marge. I'm a Hayok empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. My interpretation of reality based on my perception. Perceived, influenced highly by 11:01 a.m. 491-974. I don't care if people know my stats, man. I already been through it. My life, I would have been appreciative if people would have come at me. They're cowards, so they lurk in the dark like roaches. And usually I'm asleep, so whatever. Break my shit. People breaking my shit my whole life. It's just given me the ability to not be attached to things. Because people have broken things because it causes pain. Oh, we know she loves this. Let's break it. My brother used to do that shit all the time. Fucking Virgos. They're the oil to my water. and we make and I recognize the salad. I'm the salad dressing that recognizes their salad, their word salads. They talk in circles a lot. I listen to them, and although I appreciate the words that they say, I'm just like, man, you could have said that in like so much less. Anyway, what was I going to talk about? Oh, I was going to talk about a lot of things. I made notes even and stuff like that. I do appreciate what you know. Like I appreciate all kinds of people. Well, I appreciate everything people contribute to me. Even if it's like, yeah, I don't want to be like that. That's how I've guided a lot of my behavior in life. Is like, yeah, that's cool. I don't want to be like them. That's cool. However, I can do whatever, you know. If I want to sit on, okay, I'm not gonna say that anyway. So I'm gonna start the talk. It was real nice though. I'm in the chat in Robert's talks. I'm not in the chat. I'm watching. I'm listening to him. Usually, I'm doing something else. Sometimes I'll look in the chat, and this morning, this lady says, "Anybody seen Marge?" And nobody answered her for days because I'm ignored when I'm in the chat. It's so nice that to see that how welcoming and inviting they were to Laura. I'm glad, you know, because I get because when people are so welcoming and inviting, nothing's 100%. So people can't be who they act like they are when they're acting like they're somebody that you want them to believe that they. I don't care what people believe that they think I am. You know, I am who I am, and my own parents didn't like me and understand me. So you know, based on that, I don't really that my bar was really low when I started out in life, and everything I learned is because I was drawn to learn it. I've been tracking astrology my whole life, and I have my own interpretations of things. I had my first chart done at birth on parchment paper. I remember Mom laid it out on one. It was one of those papers that were important I could never touch. And then we lost track of it along the way, moving around so much. But it was nice to see her ask about me. It's like we traded places because she just came in the chat and I just left after she said she's been a spectator. I tried to find her. She said she looked for my channel and could because I'm below obscurity. Ain't nobody wanna, you know. I'm I'm so far down in the cracks of society that people look for me and they can't find me. And I just would think you could just put in like 3RD. I wonder if that works. If I look for it in Google. If I just search 3RD. space EYEACTIVATED. If I just search that in Google, and if I hit the video tab, it says, "Did you mean?" No, I didn't mean that. There's all this stuff by fucking Sadhguru and shit. Which is funny, because I saw him. He looked right at me. I got a picture of him in my phone. I used it for, like, thumbnails and shit before. He looked right at me. And I got his picture. Snap! I see your soul! What it really is. And people that freaking just travel around and play that much. I don't get me wrong. I appreciate the things that he does for his community. I wish my community would kind of, take that heart space on. But everybody's full spectrum. And they're paying attention to the wrong parts. Hey, look over here. I'm a wonderful person. That's why I'm always talking about how I freaking, fail as a human being. So people know that I am a fallible person and I will disappoint anybody that meets me, and I want to just show people what happens when you live from your heart. There's not a lot of prosperity. I did find another reason. I'm my whole life, I'm like, why? Because people are like, why do you act that way? And so I kind of brought that on. Why do I act that way? Let's figure it out. So today, going down the knowing of me, and I encourage everybody to do this with themselves. Explore who you are and why you act the way you do and all that stuff. And just go to, like, Astro Cafe or one of those places, put in your stats, find your birthday, get your birth certificate. Everybody has to have one in order to accomplish anything in life. To be a real person, you have to have a piece of paper that says you're real. Look. And I was listening to Robert this morning. So you can't find. I mean, yeah, you can find me, but you gotta look, I guess. I don't come across everybody's algorithm. So, Robert mentioned how when people have trines in Jupiter, it makes things more amplified. And so I I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of familiar. Let me look at that. And I, in fact, have a Jupiter trine Saturn transit, and natally. And so I'm gonna read just a little bit, because I have things in my personality that are so predominant, but I have to fight myself every day not to be like that. Because I grew up in the place that, if you're not careful, you're going to get popped in the mouth. By friends, family, it didn't matter. It just, you watch what you say, you're going to get popped in the mouth. So I had to learn how to defend myself because I wanted to keep my teeth. And I talk a lot of trash, so I've had to learn how to arrive above my astrology. But there's just a couple little excerpts here. And it just affirms, verifies more of why do I act that way. Jupiter trine Saturn natal. And this is by astrologyking.com. Jupiter, his interpretation, because I bet if I looked other places, it's probably from their perspective, it's going to be a little bit different. Jupiter trine Saturn natal gives a sustained ambition and consistency of purpose to do great things in your life. You mix careful and persistent experimentation with planning and hard work. Although you seem very lucky, others do recognize your success is no fluke. You earn respect. I don't think that is a true statement. Because people stop respecting themselves along the way, and they're not going to respect people outside of themselves when they don't give a shit about themselves. It ain't going to happen. They can say it's going to happen, but they're a goddamn liar. Let's see. You earn respect. Okay. You earn respect and praise for your self-discipline and strong work ethic. The balance of natal Jupiter trine Saturn makes you optimistic, realistic, enthusiastic, and self-controlled. Some days less than others. Self-confidence and a sense of destiny keep you focused on your goals, and you should intuitively know that you want what you want early in life. It didn't matter. I didn't get to go after what I wanted. I had to too busy taking care of responsibilities, and then, well, first I freaking played a lot though for a little while. Uh, Self confidence, a sense of destiny keep you focused on your goals, and you shouldn't. Okay, you're willing to sacrifice personal enjoyment to complete your mission. That's why I'm such a hard ass. No wonder people don't want to talk to me, because everybody is like, they're gonna be like, she's gonna call me a slacker. She's gonna tell me about how I don't help enough, and she's gonna be right, and I don't want to hear it. So I'm never gonna have her on my YouTube. That's all right. I'll keep my own. I'll stick to myself. You have good organizational skills and leadership qualities to do well in business or politics. When I was first reading this on my porch a little while ago, I was going, I don't want to go into politics. No. Universe is like, shut. No, you got to. It's been in my, it's been, I've been, it's like, I don't want to. Universe don't care what I want to do. But you are motivated and determined enough to succeed at just about anything you put your mind to. However, you would become frustrated if you have no hope of promotion because you are on a journey for continual growth. Jupiter trine Saturn transit. Jupiter trine Saturn transit gives patience and endurance for sustained effort. You will stay focused on long-term goals and not be distracted by day-to-day dramas. Your broad perspective and long sense of duty mean you will be productive and efficient. Your efforts will be increased. Your sense of security will be source of pride and satisfaction. A practical approach is a good time for starting or expanding business or any other projects. I can't, nothing I do gets off the ground. It's hilarity. It's so funny. I'll try shit just to see it not succeed. But I always think it's gonna for a second. If any challenges arise, it will be easy to find a practical solution. Will be willing to take on responsibility and should earn respect, recognition, and success. This is an excellent transit for a real estate transactions. Home. I can't find a place I have to live for roots. It's for forever home. It's hilarious. I guess people are going against my natural state because I'm trying. All the damn Robux I get, stupid. So anyway, I called today's talk. Was it Paul Alexander? I don't know if a lot of people know who he is. I was first introduced to Paul Alexander, God, when I was a little girl. So okay, I'm gonna be 50. So maybe 40 years ago. And he just passed away, 78 years old. And I remember, I learned a lot of stuff watching PBS. We didn't have a lot of shows. Ever the people thought it was boring, but I was always with my face in the TV watching Mutual Omaha, Wild Kingdom, and all that shit. And I watch how the animals interact, and I'm like, man. Then I go out in the world and I see what kind of animals the people were. Watching how they interacted, I'll be like, ooh, I don't want to hang out with them. They're gonna eat me like a shark. Ooh, they're like a cat. They like the smell of fear, so they're gonna toy with me. I don't want to hang out with them. I like cats, so I love animals in their true form because they're being true to who they are. People always act like they're somebody else. Usually, most of the time, not always. There's no absolutes. Sometimes I speak in absolutes. I get carried away. Don't take me in the literal sense ever. That's silly. So he would have been, if he was 78 and I'm 50, and he first came on my radar when I was probably 10. Because I remember when the local PBS station just got its new building, its new facility. It used to be down by the river, I think, and then they moved it over up back against the hill on Miracle Mile. It's probably it's probably been 3 different places since then. It's been a long time. The place I grew up is not the place that it is today. All places change and evolve, and it's not It's once you leave, once you drive out of town, the town ain't the place. It's like a person. It has a spirit. It evolves like people do, and people make up a collective energy of a place. And so I don't like big cities. People ruin everything, man. Or small cities, people ruin everything, man. They get in their own way too much. Do want to do shit the way they want to do it too much. So 40 years ago, minus 78. So he was probably about the age that I am now when he first came across my radar. And I remember, and he looks the same. And throughout the years he'd pop in, and then there'd be like a news excerpt, and then people would, and he'd always have the same message. See, when he was a young man, he had polio. Polio is one of those autoimmune things that people got usually after, getting something done to them for their own good, if you know what I mean. They've been doing this stuff the whole time. They never not. It's not new. And so but my grandpa had polio, so that's why it kind of resonated with me, because grandpa kind of walked with a limp, and he walked really slow, and people were like, well, when he was a boy, he had polio. So my grandpa lived through polio, and then watched his father die by the time he was 17. So he had all these, anyway, he's a sad guy. He drank. He made sad people. Sad makes sad. Angry. So much angry in my family line. I'm trying to resolve it. It ain't easy. God says, okay, because don't never pray for patience, because then the universe is going to give you things that you got to practice patience in. So that, just a little tidbit. Anyway, so dude had polio when he was 8. He about died, or he did die. Maybe he died. I can't remember exactly. Different stories, different versions, different timelines, different realities. And they put him in an iron lung. Let's see if I can find a picture of him. Paul Alexander. Not pale. There he is. Here's a picture of him in his iron lung. Ooh. That wasn't good, huh? Oh. Wow, it's making his face look black. Anyway, his story. Whatever he... That's kind of weird. It's lighting. Anyway, he has a great story, because every time I'd see a report about him, he always had the same message. And this man laid in that tube for 70 years. He never went out. He never got fresh air. And that man had more gratitude than most of the people on this planet. He was just always grateful to be alive, that he could take another breath, even in such a confined state. And yet people stifle themselves for security. It's such a trip, but I understand the need to. I mean, the world's going to be real dangerous for a while. I don't recommend day hikes for anybody, male, female. I don't, by yourself. I think it's time to go back to grassroots. Things are getting ugly out there. Time to implement the buddy system. Stuff like that. No single girl late night walks at 9 o'clock, man. People are just getting too crazy. They don't got no emotional control. They don't, or they have it and they're like, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want, which is even worse. When you don't listen to the good orderly direction guiding you not to cause harm or to steal or to cheat or lie, all those things that people so freely do to gain their advantage in life, which is manipulation, which is hijacking society, which takes away from divinity and the divine way. People are hijacking reality all the time. Now we see the consequence of it because everybody got a ward, and then they all got their assigned positions based on their bloodlines, and then they get to build the blocks. They got all the building blocks. So look at all the major cities have all the cranes, more and more homeless people. I got ideas how to help remedy. It just, the thing of it is how do you change the hearts of those that don't fucking care? How do you change the hearts of or how do you at least, maybe keep not caring, but just maybe help fund those that do? I got to figure out how to do this nonprofit thing. I don't like bureaucracies, and who knows if they're even going to allow it. Because they just make up rules. Anytime there's rules, regulations, policies, or procedures, there's somebody that's going, nope, I'm sorry, can't help you. See this rule on this paper? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were a human being. But you're a servant to fucking words on a page. That's weird. How nice and obedient of you. Do you have a dog, or does a dog have you because you are the obedient one? Little bitch. People that pay homage and are so dedicated, they worship the Romans on the hill. They worship people on Capitol Hill, they worship the money. And they shit on people in their local community. So they're like, hey, see what we're willing to do for you? Our allegiance are to people that we've never met. When they should be amongst your townspeople. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, there's a rule. I can't help you with that. Oh, really? Aren't you the rule makers? Oh, but we have to go through bullshit and do this and do that. Oh, yeah, but if it was important, you expedite this shit. So you could tell who the people who care about people and the people who don't. Because the people that do will go to any lengths to freaking, ease the suffering and pain in others. Those that have never really experienced pain and suffering, they're not in such a big hurry because they're going to get their direct deposit anyway, whether people continue to fall through the cracks of society or not. They just go around with their little automated, but we care! We care! We care! If you care so much, how come every day, collectively, all these people that care continue to watch the cracks of society get wider and more people are, in a bad way? I saw a girl, she was so excited. Some dude gave her $20. She worked at a convenience store. She made a recommendation. He went next door, got 7-Eleven, got a scratcher, won $500. Came back and gave her 20. I would have gave her 100. It's free money, because it fucking 20 made her fucking happy. Think about what 100. I mean, think about like $15 an hour. How many hours she got to work to make? That's what I used to measure everything by. I can't go to that concert. That's like a week and a half of work. That's too much. I look at everything as balance and measure, exchange of energy. It's just how my brain works. So he passed, and I was just thinking about him in heaven, or in the ethers as a whole again, And I was telling Mom when she got up, go to the restroom this morning early, I was like, Ma, because I said, the guy with the iron lung died, and I was telling her about it, and she was like, what? She just listens, everything I say, she just listens, she's so cute. And then, are you warm enough? Yeah, I'm warm enough. Froze my ass off last night. Well, that's what I get when I leave windows open. Anyway, what makes me think is like when people take their last breath, and there's a lot of turnover, there's a lot of people dying right now. That last breath goes out into the ethers, and, that's their frequency of however this person lived, whatever they're drawn to. And so other people are susceptible to receiving these frequency and the power and the energy, all, that is behind that energy, as I understand it. And so, his gratitude is out there, so we'll see how many people are like, grasp onto his vibrational frequency of gratitude and start acting more grateful, because it's out there for the taking. People keep grasping for greed and all this external shit to make themselves feel better. I was always taught it was more beneficial that it was like, make yourself okay in the craziest and most outrageous situations. Like when the storm is going on outside, find your peace inside. People don't do that. They're all stirred up inside and they're trying to create peace by making them feel better by external bullshit. Consumption of junk food, alcohol, sex, all, overspending, just greed, they called it retail therapy, whatever I can do to make me feel better. I'm going to go do that. And then people go off on whims. They want to go, I want to live that van life. And they feel like, and then they fucking try it out, try shit on. And then there's like, man, I don't want to live like this. It's too hard. Or people are like, I want to live on the beach. And look how many people, their fucking houses are falling off the cliff. It's like everything's got to mash out, Like you can have the benefits of living all of that, but there's consequences to that, and it starts to weigh people down. People begin to not be able to carry the burden of the weight of all the things that they need to make themselves feel better, and then it starts taxing their body because every year they put on 10 more pounds because they keep eating the same stuff to make themselves feel better. It ain't good for them. Get up. Go. You want to know why so many people are having heart attacks and dropping dead and dying? Their hearts are muscles, and they ain't been flexed. People ain't flexing their hearts. So you got all these compromised, and the way I look at veins and shit like that, they're no different than like the your radiator system with the rubber hoses. Hoses crack and break down with temperature variance when it gets too hot and then cold. That breaks down the structure of rubber. And so cracks, shit burst, your thermostat goes up. Same shit, people don't exercise, they don't work their bodies the way that God intended, good orderly direction, and then you go to run and do something stressful, and then a fucking gasket blows. There you go, Widowmaker. You did it to yourself by just not giving a shit about yourself. Majority of people have a heart attack or diabetes, not the two kind. It's because they do it to themselves. Look at it, and then they feel bad and then go out and fucking treat everybody else like shit. And you did it to yourself. I will never understand this planet. Hi, Lisa Barfield. Good day to you. Anyway, I think I've been yammering long enough. I've been talking too long. How long have I been going on here? So, I hope he rests peacefully, man, because there's been a lot of times in life where I call my thought on to that man. When I lack gratitude, I think about him, And he's just every day, one day at a time, for 78 years. Now his body is free, or now his spirit is free from the body. So that's kind of cool. Brain scan. Oh, I remembered a story this morning that I wanted to talk about. People talk about, like, have you ever been in a place and then, like, had, like, my brain has been scanned so many. It's like, I swear they know who I am more than I know who I am. You know what I mean? But I'm made to be kept in a place. Like, if I don't get donation, I am not unemployable anymore. I haven't been since my last job, 2006. When I left that and moved to Oregon. I can't get a job in a gas station. It's a trip. It's me. Anyway, so I was thinking about that today, and then I hear other people do talks, and it's like, like, maybe I wouldn't think that if it weren't for the influence. Maybe I'm too influenced. Anyway, I remember as one time I was in basic training, or maybe it was tech school. I think it was basic training, because there were a lot of holidays during the time I went, and basic train, everything stops on holidays. So, like, they would send us to different parts of the base to clean some a-hole's office, when they pay, and it's just whatever you can do to keep people busy on nonsense. That's what the military is. So They sent me to a doctor's office, me and like two other girls. And they're like, "Hey, we just got this new brain scan. You want to come try it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." They never tell me what the results are. I never know what the results are. And I've had CAT scans, MRIs throughout the years, except one time when I was in Omaha and they're like, "Well, you have because that's when my autoimmune like flared up." They got it on my they thought I had like some sort of, because my pituitary gland was enlarged. That's when I had my kundalini awakening and the life force energy shot up into my spine like it did when I broke my tailbone on Mount Shasta. And I freaking vaporized and then came back in with all this, oh shit. All this knowing and recall. That's what data is, light. That's all data is light transference. I mean, light, energy, power goes through the little electricity. Everything's woo-woo. They just say it's not, and then they benefit from it. And then lock people up from the things that they benefit from it. It's just, the world is so weird. So bizarre. So, yeah, I thought about that this morning, about the brains, one of the many brain scans I had. They've been testing me my whole life. I should get paid for all the freaking benefits that they get from whatever I say. Because I know that people have. I got Chiron and Aries. It ain't my role to get freaking the recognition I deserve. That's not what my life is about. My life is about hey you, why are you doing it like that? That's what my life is for. Don't do me no favors when I'm gone. Oh, I was talking about, I said, Ma. When I was telling her, I said, Paul Alexander, I was telling her the story, he died. I said, when I go, ain't nobody better not make no fuss. Because ain't a whole lot of people. There's 2 people on this planet done me like great favor in this life, in the last 7 years. And I ain't never even met him, so I better not from freaking the ethers ever see freaking anybody on my page. I say, you know what they'll say to me, Mom? You know what they'll say about me when I'm gone? The people will be like, well, at least she's out of pain. Even though none of these mofos never try to do nothing to make me feel better. And I'm talking about the ones that I have at some point in my life have done some sort of something to let them know that I care about them, but they ain't never given it back in return. So don't do me no favors by doing. I want to just. I don't care what happens. Put me in the dirt, freaking fry my bone. I don't even care what happens to me. People put more effort into giving shit about fucking tradition and dead people than they do about, hey, look at all the ways that they fucking treated people shitty. And that evolved into how things are now. Don't go around and do whatever you want to do all the time. It makes you a selfish a-hole. I'm saying that to me. Anyway. That's what I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad day.